What's up? Let's make it official.
Hey.
KB, Caleb. Basically, we're just like meeting each other. We just met right now because if you see, I got the book bag drive coming up, as y'all may or may not know, and my brother shared it for me. This is a brother of my friends. He went to school with my brother.
Yeah.
And he reached out to my brother like, "What's this you got going on?" My brother told him what it was. He wanted to meet me. I said, "Awesome, I would love," because he has his own stuff going on, which he wanted to speak to me about. He was like, "Well, let's get to know each other." So yeah, he was like, "I wanted to film." I said, "Oh, I definitely want to film. Let's make a podcast out of it, so that way y'all can learn about him with me, and he wants to learn about me. So maybe some of y'all still got questions about me. You can learn more about me, especially with what I'm doing and what I'm promoting right now with the book bag drive." So KB, he's here. You know I'm going to feed him. Talk with your mouth full. Got us some bacon cheeseburgers and some french fries. Something light.
Yeah.
Lisa's still my everyday sponsor. Shout out Lisa's Pizza in Souderton. So don't worry, we got something coming with them soon. Lisa's will be sponsoring the book bag drive. So make sure y'all visit them if you're in town. Lisa's Pizza in Souderton, PA.
Yeah, I remember Lisa's. I had some nights there. Used to always be my spot.
Yeah.
Lisa's, what's the spot? Yeah.
And we get to reminisce because, like you say, he grew up out here. So definitely my favorite pizza spot out here.
Yeah, I'm able to make it full circle. Small world. Only lived around here for a little bit, but for sure a very inspirational and created a good foundation for myself. Actually, I lived around here at literally that age of when you're youth and you're just learning yourself. So the most defining part of your life, I did live here for that. So it's funny to think about it. From Philly.
You went to Crest?
Yeah, so like from Philly, I've lived in so many places in like southeastern Pennsylvania just from my parents always like just never having stability, but like moving place to place, so that type of thing. So I was never really in any place too long, but I lived in Souderton for almost 3 years. So I was there for, like I said, that defining part of your life. So actually like middle school and such. So I was here for all of middle school and then getting into high school. Right. So like that's when you're being a knucklehead, when you're going in, that is that time. We're taking, I wasn't in Philly anymore, but take the bus, SEPTA, you're there. Right. 30 minutes. So like we're going to,
that was the move.
Yeah, like so we're going to be a knucklehead, getting in trouble all over. And like so like that's where I still got to live that type of lifestyle. Got no kids now. Unless you're in the city still, maybe you're not riding the bus or anything like that. But I still got to, like I said, live that outside life of, hey, inside at night, but at least go take the bus out to town, go do things yourself. Kids now, I even got younger siblings. They're not outside and such as much. Like I still did. I say all the time, got to live that outside life. Yeah. Yeah, so even though I say all the time, Gen Z, I know they say we grew up in the thousands, technology, all that type of stuff, but I at least got to still live that millennial life because I had like older siblings, cousins, that type of stuff. Still,
so you got to experience best of both.
Yeah, I say that. Those late 90s babies, you got to still, you're not going to remember the 90s, but you still are a product of those 90s and get to tell people all the time, my favorite movie? Matrix, like what, like that's
Matrix.
Yeah, like, Matrix is my shit. Like, then that I say all the time from being a young boy. Like a young boy, I probably saw a movie when I was like 5. Watch that ish with my family all the time, and now like I look at it, I'm somewhat corny here and there, but I'm like, dang, I'm like simulation theory, life, the way we live, all that type of stuff. I'm like, this was a foundation for it. Did I know what it was talking about at 5? Nah, but now I can look at it and be like, dang, that was a movie that defined me. I still use it to relate to things all the time. People use it to relate to things, and the world all the time, people will be like, living in the Matrix. This is a simulation. Right, stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh, it's funny that is red pill, blue pill. Like you see the memes, you see people talk about it, all that type of stuff.
I ain't even now that you're talking about it like that. It is always used, huh?
Yeah. So
before I get to the book bag guy, this is what you do and why you had interest in helping me. and the book bag drive.
Why I was interested, I work in the financial services. I am an advisor. I help people plan with their life, retirement, as well as kid planning, savings for college, all those types of things. I really love to be able to help people and help families as well as help kids. And so when I saw this drive going on, I was like, oh, that'd be something I'd want to get a part of, as well as we mentioned, Thaddeus, his brother. I saw that and I was like, that's at my old middle school? I was like, what? I was like, let me get tapped in. I haven't been around there.
Well, it's at the YMCA, but down the street from the middle school.
Yes, yeah. So like, right, yeah, I'm sorry about that. No, but yeah, right there, that same YMCA I'd go to as well. So like, everything. I was like, oh, I want to get tapped in. I've helped out with schools and such and other places. I like to give back to what I've been a part of, as well as just to give back. But being a part of this area, I was like, oh, I have not given back enough or as much as I'd want to this area. I have lived in a bunch of places, but Souderton is a place that was really a home for me. And I'd love to be able to give back book bags, be able to help the kids, volunteer, to drive everything. So that's what piqued my interest on that, seeing that the area as well as what Ro was doing.
So with that, I guess I should introduce what you are helping. Now, I do a lot. I don't know why I can't just focus and stick to one thing, but kind of how this podcast came alive. Everybody was, what's your podcast on? And I don't know. It's on whatever the guest comes and wants to talk about. That's it. I didn't want to close it off to nothing because I could have had a sports one. I could have had a food show. No, I want everything to be open. One, so I don't run out of shows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And two, like I said, it's all about the guests. So that's me giving back to my community. I have on everybody that I know from around here. If they got a business, we go ahead and promote it. If they have something they want to talk about and they just want to vent, a lot of people use social media as a venting tool. I have a platform where a lot of people are looking. If you want somebody to hear you, you can come and vent on here, whatever it's about. I bring awareness to situations if needed be. So that's me. I have my Talk With Your Mouth Full is a production company for my podcast.
Yeah.
On the side, in my spare time, my hobby is to enjoy my free time with the kids. Usually playing sports or doing something, trying to be their mentor, because I do have the free time, the free spare time, and I needed it because years ago I became an alcoholic. I was an alcoholic. I was stuck in the mix or whatever you want to call it, depressed. I got out of it, but people ask me, how did I do it?
I was going to ask, do you mind, and not to cut you off, but I was going to say, do you mind like even telling me like more about yourself even as I go? So because interview wise, not to make it like an interview, but I am or at least I've been told that I can be a great conversationalist. Emotions as well as communication is kind of my strong suit, and I'm the type of person to question and want to know why and just learn about people. So even like you saying
how I became an alcoholic?
Yeah, like I'd love to know like what brought you, how you got there, what brought you out of that, and where you're at now, to know that you have changed and you want to help and you have a life, kids, wife, you know what I mean? Like things are turning out and working for you, and so just how you can still get to that place, and like I said, where you're at now, if you've at least realized where that stuff's happened or came from.
That's funny. And actually, so I say alcohol was what they call it, a vice. It became, I want to say, I don't know where it started. I know where I realized it was a problem for me. That was a couple years ago, I'd say right when I had my kid. I was drunk, yelling at my wife, and my kid had been like maybe one. And you can just see from a kid, they always say a kid always knows, can always tell. Just a look in his eyes of him seeing me raise my voice.
And I didn't like not being able to control myself. That's one reason why I didn't experiment with a whole bunch of drugs. I was fortunate enough to not, fall in that hole. But the reason why is because I didn't like stuff that would take over me, and I didn't get to be able to control myself. I say even when I was drinking, and this is why it took me so long to realize that I actually was an alcoholic and had a problem. I had so much control of my drinking. I never drink and drive. That wasn't a thing I do. If I'm getting drunk, then I'm sitting myself in the house, or I have a driver lined up. Like, I can control certain things not to do, but I still drink it till all the alcohol was gone. The next day I felt horrible. Like my self feeling like I didn't want to get up the next day and da. So when it became heavy for me, like, of course everybody, drink and party with their friends, that was a thing.
Yeah.
But it gets to a point to where, like, everybody else goes back to regular life when you come out of your drunk. Mm-hmm. So I got injured, back-to-back injuries. I tore my ACL and C6, C7 in my shoulder.
Jeez. How did you do those? Sports or falling?
Basketball for my knee, basketball, and then re-injuring it through dancing and football.
You said you were doing sports.
So. Yes, yeah, I had played in a football league and a basketball league. So I re-injured it, had to get surgery. Once I got back on my leg, I was working at Amazon and got injured on the job. So with that, I had a lawsuit on my hand, and when you have that, people that know or people that may not know, when you have a lawsuit pending, everybody's watching to make sure that your injury is legit. So even though my doctor knew it was legit, because I told him we had an issue, somebody sent my doctor a picture of me sledding, and he's like, "What is this?" And I was like, and I explained to him why it wasn't. He seen me getting dragged by a car. Reasonable. He seen me getting dragged by a car in the snow. And I'm like, well, the camera reverses, so that's the wrong arm. I was like, but what are you questioning? You've seen the X-rays and MRIs. You know what's... I'm not faking it. But he's like, yeah, listen, that doesn't matter. He's like, sit in your house, don't be seen. He's like, I don't want you taking out the trash, carrying groceries. You can't do nothing. Sit in your house until we finish this.
Yeah.
So... what do I do in the house? This is why I think everybody gets to their vice: boredom. So, you find something that try to excite the time you're doing. So I sat on this couch for 2 years waiting, not allowed to work, not allowed to do no physical activities. I gained 70 pounds in that 2 years. I was big, and I gained a big habit to where I was drinking a bottle of vodka wouldn't faze me. I couldn't even share with other people. People are like, oh, let me get a pop. Nah, because then I'm not going to get drunk, and I'm going to have to go get more, and I don't have a ride to get more, so I can't share with you none of this big bottle. I need it all to myself. I was that bad. But once I was able to work again and get back on my feet, I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to get back to myself where I was playing sports. Personally, I feel like I've always been someone to help kids. Just around me, help people, period, around me. If I got it, you can get it too. We can all eat together. So anybody, especially kids. My heart is for the kids. Growing up out here, you know how it was. We didn't have nothing to do. We had to make our own activities. Even when I was a kid out here, we had this youth group, and they would come and do stuff with us. Well, when the youth group couldn't be there, me and a couple of my friends were 14 years old. We threw concerts in the play area at the basketball court. My own money from McDonald's check. I go to Landis, buy a bunch of snacks. I put flyers on everybody's door. Crazy thing is, 25 years later, this is exactly what I'm doing.
That's how it starts.
I was doing this 25 years ago just because I'm doing the same exact thing. I put an LLC behind it. And I'm not doing it to expect nothing, so it's not like I can lose. This is what I do in my spare time. I go out there, hang with the kids. The kids love it. Back in our day also, you're a little after me, but we had a guy, Mr. Jesse, that would just come to our neighborhood. I didn't know where he came from. He would just pop up in our neighborhood, take all the kids to a baseball game, bowling, like fishing, whatever it is, it just come out because he knew none of us had dads, we had no mentors, nobody watching out over us. He come and give us something to do. As a kid, we didn't notice then, but then when I grew older, I was like, yo, that guy was cool as hell. Like, that's what's up. And we remember that. And at some point, it helps in our growing minds, to where that actually meant something in what he was doing. So now I just basically think of myself as that guy to come and pop up. Like, I got side football teams now, and when I pop up, I'm not the coach, but I help put it together. They got a coach, another guy that reaches out and does stuff with me. He helps me a lot. He coaches that team every day. He's not getting paid to coach. You know what I mean? There's no end game goal. His saying is, if these kids are here practicing with me, they're not out getting in trouble. Yeah. And that's what I like to do. I like to give them something to do so they're not out getting in trouble.
No, that's great. And to even hear that you're even able to make sense of it in that way. Even me asking, not everyone knows. And like I said, just for me communicating with so many people, seeing how some people respond to things, how some people have themselves together and some people don't. But just asking you that.
I'm still a work in progress.
But you knew the answer. That's what I was going to say. You knew the answer and why you are how you are. Something that I learned, and something I learned young, and I always look at it now as a gift. But it's that people don't, and this is not in a how should I say, this isn't in a demonstrative or insulting way, but someone I learned and I read philosophy-wise when I was younger, that people really just don't know themselves, and they don't know why they respond to things, and they don't know how to respond to things because they don't know enough about themselves. So even you being able to be like, hey, I thought about how I was as a kid and this made me this way. So many people can't put those puzzle pieces together to know, and not in a form of trauma. Hey, I'm mean to people. My parents were yelling all the time when I was growing up, so now I'm mean because my parents were yelling. Or, hey, the opposite. My parents were so nice and had me, boxed in and not cultured, that now you go out and you do a bunch of bad things because you didn't get to live a full life of getting outside and going to do things that other people got to do. People don't realize how they are. They kind of just know who they may not even know who they are, but you were at least able to say, these things happened as a kid. It made me realize that, hey, there was someone helping. Then you were doing things for the town and kids yourself, and you were like, I still do things like that. Not everyone can pull full circle of why they are how they are, or even, like I said, know about themselves. So I'd say that is...
Well, as a younger person, I was a bit of an asshole. So it's like, I don't believe in religion or nothing, but the least I can do is give back and make up for what I used to be as an asshole. Also, I mean, I believe in good karma or bad karma. A lot of people might not be helping me just because of my past.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what I did in the past. So that's already me hurting the kids right there.
Mm-hmm.
That I can't get everything that I could be able to give them because of my background and people judging me on that. It shouldn't be the case, because either way, I'm still giving to the kids. But face the facts, that is a situation.
Yeah, I think everyone has something like that they go through in life, and even I do all the time, like for being in this industry that I'm in, financial services wise. Just because, like you said, growing up, kid, get into bad things, etc. People have past histories, and being into my industry, I remember like there was even something that I did when I was such a young kid, and it came up when I was getting licensed in the industry, and they were like, hey, you did this and that. How do we know we can trust you with money and these types of things and etc.? I didn't do anything like crazy. It was not like anything like yeah, like nothing like that. But
I'm sorry about the interruption. We will try to pick up where we left off, and hopefully don't run out of space.
Yeah, just some technical difficulties.
You was just getting into
yeah,
explaining
into me being in the financial services. So I am in the financial services, and I help people plan for retirement, for savings, budgeting. I have to be an advisor to many people, and I am with the company New York Life. New York Life is a huge, great big parent company that I get to be behind. It's been around since 1845, so before the dollar bill was dollar, before Texas was Texas, all types of things. So it's great that I actually get to have a good foundation of somewhere that's trusted, a great financial, really strong company. So I am my own boss though. So even though me being with New York Life, I do things myself. I create my schedule. I meet my own clients. Everything is me. So that's where I have to be able to do things myself, help people, and build my own business for myself. So even though I am with New York Life as an agent and as an advisor, I am still my own company and my own established person. But being with the financial services is how I got into being there for schools, for families, getting into giving back to the community outside of even being with New York Life. But New York Life does do a whole bunch of volunteer work, a whole bunch of community service, those types of things. So not doing it back through them, but doing, even just learning how to be in my industry, doing good things. Don't do good things because you want good things to happen to you. You should just be wanting to do good things. But when you do good things, people see who you really are, if that is your true colors. So when you're helping people, the community thinks of you. That is who I am to communities and plenty of communities. So it's, hey, I want them to think of me. Hey, Caleb was here with my kid, help my kids go to school, save for my kids to go to college. I have clients where I'm going to be the reason why their kid has the down payment for their first house, the reason why their kid goes to college, the reason, like those types of things, because I gave them the education, helped them teach their kid, as well as set them up to be able to have those things. People don't know a lot about that type of stuff, and I won't get too into the ins and outs of what I do and how those things work, but just it's great to be able to hear, hey, my kid's 5 years old right now, but when they're 25, you're the reason why I'm able to get them their first house. You are the reason why they're able to go to college and have these types of things. And it's great because I do get to educate people. And while doing that, I also want to give the financial literacy to these kids while they're young. I wish someone would have brought financial literacy to me. I always was.
Same, which I'm glad you're here to do that for me, because then yes, he didn't mention he works with my brother also. So he's been helping him, and I was just telling him how proud I am of my brother, that he's already, once me and my brother started getting together, because we didn't get to talk much as we was younger and hang out much once he was grown. I didn't get to have that life with him. So when I did start talking with him, like I ain't have no advice to give him. I had to get advice from him. I was definitely proud of him. And yeah, I mean, and that's where he got a lot of his knowledge from. So he's here to spread his knowledge with me and whoever else. I'll definitely put his contacts up to how we can reach
really
you.
Just here to help people. That's why I got into this industry. Before this industry, I've done so many things, jobs all over, but as a kid, I always wanted to help people. I was able to pivot that, all of those emotions of wanting to help people, into what I do now. Being an advisor, I have to help people every day, and if you're not doing those things for the right reason, then that is what I mean of, hey, you don't just want to be doing good things so karma comes back for you. You want to help people if you're doing it for the right reasons. And I was then, so I was able to pivot it to still wanting to help people. I didn't know it was going to be a money thing or me being in finance. It is, like, as you said, full circle of knowing yourself. I was also that kid in school who people say American school and the country nowadays doesn't teach anything. Public systems are terrible. Public schooling system is terrible. I was the person who, growing up poor and not much financial future, I knew I was like, hey, if I want to go to college, I'm going to have to pay for this. I was lucky that getting out of Philly and out of Souderton and other places, my mother moved me into some more suburb areas. And
more suburban than here.
Yeah.
Oh, because this is where we came from, the city.
Yeah, so then like I got like...
It was more suburban.
I always say all the time, I was the second school in Pennsylvania. This happens every day now, you guys see, 2025, but I was the first school to go completely digital. So no more textbooks, just computers, all that stuff you see nowadays of kids doing stuff virtual. I was the first class of that. And the governor came to our school, shot a commercial, and then all the schools started doing it. So I was at the second school in Pennsylvania to do that. And in middle school, we had computers, and they're like, hey, you're about to get these for high school, and you're not going to have textbooks. So it was cool to be a part of that. But being in that school system, I was like, wow, this is great education. I know I'm not going to get this anywhere. I was 14 years old, and most kids are probably signing up for cooking, classes with their friends, easy stuff, like things for easy A's. I signed up for web page design, accounting, entrepreneurship, social marketing. And like I was like taking the classes that I knew, business administration. I was taking the classes that I knew, since I wouldn't go to college or I didn't want to pay for that. I was like, let me learn as much as I can here. So I did that and got all that knowledge, accounting, finance, web page design, all those business classes. Did I know I was going to be in finance? No, but it came full circle that I prepped myself as a kid to be able to have all these tools for my career today. So full circle, that's kind of even why, hey, everything happens for a reason. I'm glad I took those classes. I now work in finance. I have to help people with numbers, money, budgeting, all those types of things, and as well as getting to help people. And being in financial services, financial literacy is why I chose it. It's from wanting to help people because, like I said, poverty, giving people education. A little bit about me, lived homelessness, shelters, all those types of things of poverty. So like I saw what it's like when parents and families don't plan. Getting into this industry, I got into it in my mid-20s, and I was like, taxes, budgeting, retirement, stocks, investments, mutual funds, everything. I was like, why are we not taught about this? Now that I'm licensed in this industry, I have all this information, let me give it to people, because realistically, it's not that people are stupid, really just education has to be there. So me, someone from Philly, someone from Oakland, California, I was born in Oakland, California during literally when Tupac and Biggie are killed and such. So like I said, those late 90s, like all of that stuff's going on then. My mother moved us out of California because my siblings were playing with a gun in the backyard that someone else threw. Ditched from the cops, I assume. So like that type of stuff, like I did live through that, and from that I was like, wow, my mother and my family, it's not saying that it's their fault, we're just not educated. So I have to be the person, so now that I have this information, I want to give it to people. I want to teach them how to budget, how to save, how to have retirement, how to plan for their kids, send their kids to college if they want, have savings, those types of things. Because I learned that it's not, like I said, that we're dumb, we're just not educated.
Exactly. I say that all the time. You're not dumb because you didn't have access to that knowledge.
Yes.
Because you didn't learn something. You just ill knowledge.
You guys don't mind me even just giving all of you just some education. Some of the things that are very important to me when it comes to planning and education and such is one thing that I always tell people is budgeting and saving. That is what I believe holds most people back, and that is because they don't learn to budget. Some take anything from what I say. This is something that I always try to give people education about, and people are always saying, where's my money going? I can't save, I can't budget. But if you do not tell your money where to go, then you will always wonder where it went. And I say that in a way because if you don't know what your expenses are, you don't know what you're spending on rent, your utilities, gas, all those things for your family, kids, whatever it is, your expenses. If you don't know your monthly expenses, how do you think you'll be able to save money if you don't know how much you're bringing in? Mm-hmm. Once you understand how much you're bringing in, you know how much you can save. And once you can save, then you can save for you. Actually, what I do, I find out your needs. So those, like I said, gas, bills, everything that's keeping a roof over your head, get that stuff first. Then be like, all right, now let's save for vacation. Let's save to go out with my wife. Let's save for the kids to go out and have vacation and all those things that you want to do, the fun things. But you want to do those fun things after you know what your needs are. So once you're secure, then think about the wants and such. And once you know what your expenses are, then you can save. People don't realize that it's not, hey, I can't do this, I can't afford it. You're holding yourself back. Believe in yourself. Have these goals. Be like, I want to save this much amount a week. I want to save this much amount a month. And I promise you, you will be able to do those little things. Another thing is that this is, again, financial literacy. Just I want to inspire you guys to do things for yourself, but as well as knowing your expenses. Another thing people, I say black people, but it's all people, need to get in their mind of the philosophy of pay yourself first. You want to pay yourself first. In life, I get people to think about it in this way. Who's going to pay you? Who's going to give you money? Who's going to feed you? Who's going to save for you? Nobody but yourself. When you get this check from your job and you get paid, do they say, hey, save for retirement, do all this stuff? No, they don't do anything for you. They just give you that check. And so many people just, and I understand the climate and they get that and they spend it, and I understand sometimes live paycheck to paycheck. So many people in America are living paycheck to paycheck. But when you can be like I said, mention that $10 maybe out of the paycheck or whatever it is, just save that little amount to pay yourself first. That can go a long way, because so many people, we get older, retirement age is 65, 67. And people think that that's so far away, but you don't know how many clients I speak to that are at that age or close to it, and they didn't even start saving for their retirement until they're in their 50s. And I'm like, you need to pay yourself first. You need to pay yourself when you can and as early as possible. The person who starts saving and this is what I mean financial literacy, and I love to give it to kids. When I see kids
That's where I want to go.
When I see kids, I'm in, there's a financial group that I'm in. It's called Financially Independent and Retire Early. It's called FIRE. It's a philosophy to get people to be financially independent and retire early. And I'm in that group. There's people, all millionaires, billionaires, kids, adults, old age, seniors, as well as millennials, 30s, 40s, 50s, and like I said, kids. And I love when I see a 15, 16-year-old in that group and they're like, I made $1,000 from landscaping this summer and I just put it all in the stock market and stuff like that. And I'm just like, you are making the moves. If someone would have told me that when I was a kid, when I was 16, 15, you said 14, having a job, imagine if you were taking your McDonald's money and putting it in the stock market when you were 14.
Yeah.
And now how many years later how much would that have been? Like, that's, don't know your age, but that's 15, 16, 18 years from now, think of that much money growing in the stock market for that many years.
24 years.
Compared to, hey,
25.
Compared to I just have my check that I got from my boss. You know what I mean? So like, it is, people don't think about it, but it is smart to have your money growing in the market. It's called, what we call it in my industry, mattress money, which is money that's sitting around, not doing anything, not growing, and not working for you. The sooner you can get to having money work for you, that's what you want. You want to be sitting down and your money growing. You don't need to work for your money to work. Your money works for you. So I always say it in that way. Hey, I pay yourself first. I love seeing when these kids are doing it, because as soon as you can get kids to understand that, then they will put themselves in a way better position for the future. And that's all we want, is for kids to have a better life than what we had.
Exactly. And that's my answer to why I'm doing it. Why am I doing it? Not for my karma. No, it is. And what we could do for the kid. First off, the feeling that you get when you do something. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but yeah, all those bags right there, I got some stuff over there. Going out and buying all this stuff. All these kids is going I mean, that feeling feels so good. And to know, but also to give them something useful. So it's not like, oh, I mean, anybody can go up and give the kid $1, but no, give them some information they can use. So this is where I'm going to go. This is why I do want you to be here. Like you were saying, you can educate them about financial literacy, and we needed that when we was young. So yeah, you could come. If we can continue doing work, I've talked to other people, like I wanted to start a homework club. I wanted to start like trade classes on the side. Maybe one day we get to go like a Saturday or something, and you can teach a little class.
Teach them money, teach them savings, teach them whatever it is.
Yeah, and get to them when they're young, and so that way you're actually making a difference and not just doing something.
Yeah,
we're here mentoring them, giving them opportunity.
Yeah, I'd agree. That's really why I do this. I always used to say, save the children, like that type of stuff, like help them.
And everybody does. And I mean, I'm sure everybody does mean that. But the other thing is putting in the action and actually doing it.
I say all the time, being an advisor, my job is building clientele, helping people. And like I said, there's some bad people in the industry. There's good people. You want to be the good person. I am that normal saying, I can bring a horse to the water, but I cannot make it drink.
Appreciate that. So definitely, I am going to start wrapping this up because I don't know when they're going to cut us off. Real quick, how can people check you out? Your socials. Spell it out too, please.
You guys can find me on social media. So like Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. You can find me at KBBaby18. So KBBABY. So KB and then baby again, 18. And that's where you can find my socials. Business wise, you can type in Caleb Gaither, New York Life, and you'll find me right away on Google, Facebook, website, all of that stuff. I should pop up right away, but reach out to me. I'd love to be able to help all of you, educate, that type of thing. Come on, let's go rub shoulders, you know what I mean?
Right, I like that. And I appreciate that. He did initially want to help with the book bag drive, but he does have another event going on.
I'll still see what I can do to contribute, maybe not be there, but still be able to donate, have things, or maybe I can still get some volunteering for the...
Yeah, I was going to say, because you should definitely set up a table to give out y'all's information. But I'll definitely have another event coming, and we can